Morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm so honored to be here today. For those of you who don't know me, thank you for the introduction. My name is Gwen, and I represent North Florida in the United States Congress, the biggest and best district in the state of Florida. We can all agree to that, correct? It runs all the way from Tallahassee, Leon County on the eastern side, all the way over to Panama City, Bay County on the western side, up to the Florida, Georgia, Alabama border, and down to 300 miles of the most beautiful coastline in the entire world. And I could not be prouder. As David, correct? As David said, my family has a very long history in agriculture in Florida. As a matter of fact, I would not be standing here before you but for agriculture. My grandfather moved to Florida to grow sugar canes near the Everglades. And sugarcane, they thought, since sugarcane grows in Cuba, the sugarcane would grow well in the soil around the Everglades. Well, guess what? Not true. But he turned the land that was supposed to be sugarcane into a dairy, and my family has been in agriculture in Florida ever since. As a member of the United States Congress, I am so proud to be a member of two committees, agriculture and the armed services. And so today is a perfect fit for me to come and have the opportunity and the honor to be before you all. How many veterans do we have in the audience? Oh my gosh. Well, I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your service. Thank you for being here today. I just can't tell you all how much it means to me to be on armed services and to be on the agriculture committee and to be able to work hard every day on y'all's behalf. The first piece of legislation that I offered was the Veterans Education Training Act. That piece of legislation specifically is to help men and women who are returning from active duty as a transition into veteran status. There's so much bureaucracy, way too much bureaucracy. We need to be doing everything we can to help our veterans. So that is so important to me. That just got passed on the National Defense Authorization Act. I'm so proud to have been able to be a part of putting forward legislation that helps veterans. The other part that's so important, and I'd like to recognize someone who works on my team. His name is Kyle McIntyre. Kyle, if you could stand, please. He's a veteran himself. It was really important to me. He's in charge of helping with all veteran services, anything that we can do in my office to help. Kyle, what's your phone number? If you don't mind standing up and just...
You guys get a pen out. I'll go ahead and pass it on when you're ready. Very good. Area code 850-891-8610. And any problems you have with veterans benefits or anything, you can give us a call and we can talk to you about that.
We have been able to help so many veterans, and I'll try not to get too emotional, but I can talk about a couple instances. I had a gentleman come up to me and say that he'd been trying to get a wheelchair for a very long time and hadn't been able to get a wheelchair. And we got involved and were able to help him secure a wheelchair. I recently was at another event where someone came up to me and said that her husband had passed away and they'd been trying to get medals of honor since he had passed away and had not been able to secure those medals. And she started crying, and it was all I could do not to cry with her, but she said it means so much to her to have those medals for her children and grandchildren to recognize her husband's service. So Kyle has done a phenomenal job in reaching out and making sure that we make a difference for veterans. I also want to say that coming up very soon, actually on January 19th, we're going to be having an agricultural tour, where we're going to all 14 counties in this district, focusing on agriculture and the way that North Florida agriculture in particular is important for Florida and for our country. So that's something that we're really looking forward to, and if any of y'all want to get involved in that, you can call Kyle. We'll make sure you know where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing. So, again, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being here. There's so many wonderful opportunities that you're going to have a chance to learn about today. This agriculture is the foundation of our economy. It's the foundation of North Florida. And there's so many opportunities available to veterans. And we will continue to work side by side with you to make sure that you're aware of those opportunities and anything that my office can do to be a positive voice for you. That's what we're here to do. So thank you, God bless you, and have a wonderful time today.
Thank you very much. We're going to get started today. First of all, I'd like to thank some of the sponsors. Some of the people who made this possible. Lisa Andrews and Farm Credit. Really, without it, we wouldn't have been able to do any of this today. Farm Credit has been instrumental in getting all of this together and moving all of this forward. IFAS Extension, they've been instrumental in this as well. Natural Resource Conservation Service. They have a booth over there, and you'll see a lot of these have a booth over here that I encourage everybody to go and talk to. Jackson Soil and Water Conservation District. They've also been pretty instrumental in this as well. I'd like to thank Representative Grandma again for her time. And her time is very valuable, and she's extremely busy, so it means a lot that she took the time to come out here and address this crowd today. Farm Bureau, Alan Schaefer, you might have seen over here. We appreciate their help on this as well. Most importantly, veterans, we thank you for your service. We thank you for what you've done for our country. I'd like to thank SunSouth and John Deere as well for being here today, and Farm Service Agency, and all the other vendors. And with that, I'm going to bring up Jeff Norville from USDA Natural Resource Conservation Service.
Well, good morning. Good morning. I am so proud to be here and new technology to work for me here. So proud to be here, and I am so proud to see everybody here taking time out of your busy days to come in and to get to know some of the points of service that we have in the county for landowners and veterans. This agricultural area, ag is so important. Ag is so important. We have some great partnerships over here. The agencies work well together. FSA, RD, NRCS, Fish and Wildlife Commission. So there's there's gobs of opportunities. I'm not going to stand up here and say that we have all the answers, but maybe we can point you in the right direction. And so hopefully we're going to give an overview today and get you interested. And then hopefully help point you in the right direction for your operation. So basically, I guess let's start at the beginning. Where did NRCS come from? And I don't know if you've seen the video on TV yet, but basically it was the result of the Great Dust Bowl. And so back in 1934, there's actually two storms. The first one was in 1934, and the next one was the big one was in 1935, and it actually blew all the way from the Great Plains all the way up to Washington D.C. and the eastern seaboard, and even miles out into the ocean. So it blotted out the sun at that point. So at that point, a pioneer, Hugh Hammond Bennett, started his efforts in trying to establish a agency that would address soil erosion. And so he initiated the Soil Conservation Service. How he did this? Basically, he says he did it in 4 steps. 1, science. We try to base all the practices and our approach to things on science. 2, farmer participation. We work in a very voluntary, incentive-based approach to landowners. We are working with you. We're not trying to regulate you. So so farmer participation. 3, publicity. Trying to get the word out, getting everybody educated. And number 4, as represented here today, having good congressional relationships. And so that's how the SCS got started back in 1935. Shortly after that, soil conservation districts were established by law in 1937. And so these were local, the law passed creating what they call SCDs, soil conservation districts. Districts are governmental subdivisions